This is Patricia Benedict. It's the 9th of July 2025. Sherry posted something on Naked Departure about a young lady, Breana Sha-Lay Grier, of 22, where she was had to pay compensation and then and stuff like that. And then when I heard Sherry say talking about 2 days, and she did say that she would spend 2 days in prison or whatever, I had to go and buy a paper. So they're saying that, okay, yeah, she allegedly assaulted the officer, she assaulted Miss Braffit, Supervisor Julia Braffit. Now the paper says the American visitor was ordered to pay $500 compensation. That's a lie. Unless when I went outside to make the calls I had to make that they changed it. But all along they wanted 350 US, equivalent to 700 Barbados. That's a lie. They were saying $500. That's a lie. And it says here too that they said that she would have spent 2 days to the officer in 1 day, or spend 2 days in prison. That's a lie. Renee, and I quoting from Miss Renee, said that if you do not pay, you go into prison, and you go in there for 2 weeks. That's a lie. So whoever is the court reporter and whoever is did that Sandra Downs stories by Sandra Downs, I want to find out if she was in that court, and is she, or they gave her that story, because I don't see anybody writing. Anyway, when they asked the young lady how she pleaded, she said guilty. Man, you gotta be careful how you when you plead guilty, boy. When they started reading out the charges, okay, I know about the drugs. Allegedly, it was about a street value of 60 something Barbados dollars. I heard about when she said she needed back her stuff to take to the house. They read that part. Now the other part, it is hard for me to believe, and I can't recall when they were reading it. The woman was shocked. She had her mouth open but didn't say anything about it. She should have objected to it, but then again, she may not have to, because Renee is someone that don't give people a chance to speak. So when they were talking about she pushed Braffit in her chest more than once, and Braffit warned her not to do it, but she did it again. Other security came on to escort her out, but while they were doing so, the American turned around, spat at Braffit, and began swearing and behaving aggressively. I didn't hear about that in the report. I honestly did not hear about that in the report, especially that. And I know, for me, I'm talking about experience, the police will not let somebody continue chucking somebody or whatever and arrest them right there and then. I didn't hear that in the report, because when I look at the woman, especially the woman face, lady's face, Miss Grier face, when they're reading the charge sheet, she looks shocked, and whatever they read, I don't know if it's the same thing as they put in there, but they gotta find out if it's the same thing. But so when she said it is 350 US, not $500, and this woman, Renee, I don't want to explain it right now on the voice note. Miss Renee said, how are you gonna pay it? She kept on how you gonna pay it? You can't live here without you paying, because she said, the woman said, she asked the lady, you came by yourself? She said yes. She said, how you gonna pay it? Cash. When she leaves, she said, no, you can't leave. Because if you leave, you can't leave, because you're gonna spend 2 weeks in prison if you can't pay the money. Now, the officer, PC 2358, Miss Renee asked him for the young woman passport, and he said that he left it at the he left it at her place. And Miss Renee told him, Magistrate Renee said to him, that you're supposed to work with it when you bring in the individual. PC 2358 is a male officer, and he had a female officer accompanying him. Now, I want to ask of just a few questions. I don't want to think further. I just write what I write. I want to ask a question now. Now, Prosecutor Sergeant Reginald Blackman used to work at the Old Town Police Station. So you know that. I was really worried about her, the way Miss Rennie was speaking to her, either condoning if she did something wrong. The woman didn't say anything. She said, "You have an attitude," and she told the woman, "You have an attitude," and then in once she said to "You're going back to Trump Nation, and you may not get back in." She said either Trump Nation or Trump country, and you may not get back in. Either one or, and you may not get back in. I panicked. So I had to go outside and make a phone call, a few calls and stuff on the lady's behalf, because I didn't know if she got actually, if she was allowed to make a phone call or if she was allowed to call a U.S. embassy. I don't know that. And another thing too, if you have someone you were assaulted, weren't you supposed to have a medical report? That's what I'm asking. But I did not like Miss Rennie's. I was just really concerned, and the credibility of Miss Rennie, the prosecutors at that court, and Rennie, and the prosecutors and the clerks is zilch in that court. I do not believe what I seen in the newspaper, and they talk about $500. So I want to ask a question, Miss Rennie. Was it because don't forget I rushed outside when they were trying to do Miss Rennie for 20 minutes asking the woman, how you gonna pay, and that's having someone under duress. So when because she insists on 350 US all the time, it's only when I went outside to make a few calls and stuff, when I came back in, I see the woman coming out. I think allegedly should have come through the room where Miss Rennie is. So I know how she paid Miss Sherry to try to interview her and ask her about what happened at that court and what happened in general. But when I saw in the paper $500 compensation, so I want to find out, where is the $200? Did you all agree on $500 when I went out? Because you were insisting on 350 US. And then something else I want to talk about in general. There's lots of shady things going on in general with the magistrate judges, the clerks, and some lawyers. The magistrate judge, some magistrates, some judges, some clerks, and some lawyers, where they profit out of people who come to pay compensation, and they tell them one price, and then they end up paying more money. This is nothing to do with Miss Rennie's decision. But when I came back, I didn't know what went on because she was insisting on 350 US. So all I want to find out too, did she lower the price? Because I see 500, but I know she was asking for 350 US all the time. And why would somebody tell somebody, insult somebody like that, you are going back to Trump Nation or country, one of the two, and you may not get back in. This is Patricia Benedict.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.